Ooh, welcome everyone. It is a new day. It is a new month. It is time for us to enjoy ourselves. I couldn't resist wishing you a happy new month because the new month has arrived and everything is rather lovely. Welcome to today's live. Oh, are we on? Hello.
I think we are.
Are we on? My goodness, I can't believe it. I didn't see you there.
Hi.
Hi, everybody. This is Mr. Duncan and also Mr. Steve. There he is. Look over there, standing to my left-hand side. How are you, Mr. Steve?
I'm very well, Mr. Duncan. I think I've picked up a little sort of bug from somewhere, but hopefully I won't pass it on to you, being in such close proximity as we are.
You haven't got corona. Look, it's not coronavirus.
I can't have that again. It's impossible. I only had it a month ago.
Look, if you get coronavirus again, I'm going to literally find whoever gave it to you, and I'm going to punch their lights out.
Many people have got very bad colds at the moment. Just everywhere. Lots of people they've been off for 2 weeks. Lots of people have been really ill in the musical societies I'm in. They're all coughing and spluttering away. Yeah. Seasonal infections, as we call them, sort of respiratory tract infections, colds, bugs, dirty.
Yes, but these people are idiots. These people are complete idiots because they're feeling unwell and they're coughing and they're sneezing and then they're going along to your performances or your rehearsals and then they are coughing and sneezing over everyone else. That's how you caught COVID a few weeks ago because of one person who decided to think, I'm ill, but I'm going to go. Cough, sneeze, spread infection. Mr. Steve gets coronavirus. Fortunately, I didn't because, to be honest with you, I might be superhuman. I think I might be, secretly.
I just kept my distance.
Don't you normally?
Anyway, hello to lovely viewers across the world, all saying hello to each other on the Mr. Duncan community channel, as we could call it now, couldn't we?
That sounds awful. That's the worst. That's the worst title for anything I've ever heard.
Well, it's like a community that you've created here, Mr. Duncan, as we said before. Yes. And we have people from all over the place. I'm just taking a note of some of the people, Mr. Duncan, that we have on today, showing how many different countries around the world are watching. We have Nong from Thailand. We have Ahmed from Iraq, Ahmed Baghdad from Iraq. Mm-hmm. It's a good name. Haji from Bangladesh, Gordana from Switzerland, Reham from Egypt, not to mention our usual people from South America, France, and all over. There's just so many different people, all from different countries, all getting on, coming here for the purpose of learning English.
Why do we
on
only?
Your lovely channel.
How come there's only 24 people watching?
Is 25? It's just gone up.
That's awful.
Well, it's Wednesday.
Hello, No, it's normally 70 by now on Wednesday. What's going on? Come on, YouTube. Pull your finger out. Stop it. Stop making your algorithms bite me on the bum, please.
Thank you for your lovely messages as well.
20 now. This is good.
Keep going, Mr. Duncan.
What? We have 20
Be firm.
We have 20 viewers. I've spent the last 6 hours preparing this live stream and there's 21 people watching.
Well, don't put them off, otherwise these people will leave as well.
Well, I'm not sure if it's me putting them off, but there you go.
Right.
Ah.
So what are we talking about today, Mr. Duncan?
Okay, then we've got introductions to make first. It's the start of the show. I've just realised why people are clicking away. It's Wednesday. It's a new month. March is here, and I couldn't resist having the live view of. Can you see all of the little buds are coming out on the trees? Isn't that lovely?
Yes.
So just to show that March has now arrived. It is here. So happy March, everyone. And here in the UK, we all get excited because it means that spring is coming.
Spring, Mr. Duncan. Rebirth, renewal. All that stuff.
All that crap. Yes, you're right.
No, well, I've been out in the garden, Mr. Duncan. I've been weeding. Now, you might think there's nothing growing. In February, it's winter. Why am I weeding? Well, those sneaky little weeds, Mr. Duncan, start growing around now because they get a few days of warm weather and they think, oh, no one's noticing me at the moment. There's no gardeners out there. I can just sneakily grow away and then I'll be covered up by all the other plants and no one will know I'm here. Well, I'm out there with my trowel digging them all up, Mr. Duncan.
The trowel, is that the international sign language for trowel?
Trowel, yes, I'm troweling.
Trowel.
I'm my garden trowel. I'm removing weeds now so that they don't have a chance to grow during spring and take over all the plants that I want to grow in the garden instead. A weed, of course, is a plant that is in a place that you don't want it.
Yes.
Doesn't have to. You can have if you could have a lovely crocus bulb growing or a daffodil, but if it's in a place you don't want it, it's a weed.
Nobody. What?
Yes.
Well, I thought weeds were just invasive plants.
No, a weed. The correct definition of a weed is
me.
A plant in a place that you don't want it.
I'm a weed.
Yeah. So anything could be a weed if you don't want it there.
Okay.
There aren't actually, I mean, there are common plants that are weeds, but some people, like weeds. And, well, as I say, a weed is a plant in a place that you don't want it. Well, that's what they used to tell me, and that was 40 years ago. So maybe the definition's changed now.
So maybe the world of weeds may have moved on. But of course, when I was little, when I was young, they used to call a person who was weak and very thin, they used to call them a weed.
Yes.
So a lot of people used to describe me as a weed.
They still do.
Well, yes. I just said that.
We're just joking. We're having fun. We're having laughs.
So hello to my big community out there, the biggest. The biggest. Can you believe I'm saying that? Well, at least you've turned up. That's all I can say. So we are here, you are here, and we are all here together. Can I say congratulations to Beatrice? Beatrice, guess what? You are first on today's live chat.
Well done. Yes, Intelligence asking about gardening. Well, of course, I'm not sure what your climate is like there, where you are. Intelligent is in
Ukraine.
Ukraine, that's right.
But with that, Steve, I've got some other stuff to do very quickly. Intelligent is, of course, Lilia. Yes. Can I say thank you very much to Lilia, because Lilia has actually sent us a donation during the week. Quite surprising, and also I was moved. To be honest with you, I was quite moved by it. So thank you very much to Lilia, otherwise known as Intelligent, who is here right now talking to us on the live chat. And also thank you very much for your lovely message. This donation is for the brilliant teacher, Mr. Duncan, the hidden YouTube Jen. That's true.
It certainly is hidden.
I am very hidden. Who keeps lighting up the world with his unshakable love for the English language. Almost. Thank you, Lilia, and I do appreciate it. And I know that you've been watching us for quite a while, and also your English level is very good as well. So thank you very much. Sorry, Steve.
I was going to say, we hope you are staying safe and that you're in a safe part of your country, far from the conflict. I was going to say it's cold, isn't it, in Ukraine at the moment? So I would think to start putting plants out if they are. I think roses are all right. They're quite resistant to the frost. But certainly they always advise in the UK, don't put things out that are susceptible to the frosts until probably April. Here. Probably we're on a similar latitude, aren't we? Latitude. Probably, so I would imagine
Make your mind up.
that spring probably comes, does it, in March? I would think so.
Yes. Well,
in Ukraine.
Well, at the moment they're in deep winter.
They're in deep winter. Well, technically so are we. So similar latitudes, similar weather, but I think more extremes in Ukraine because it's more inland, so you get much colder winters and and very warm summers. I think might be right there. But yes, if they're, I would say wait till the frosts have gone.
Yes,
because it's going to be difficult to dig the ground, isn't it?
I think it would be very
difficult.
difficult.
Need a pneumatic drill.
Yeah. Although I would imagine the least of your worries at the moment in Ukraine is when to plant your roses.
Well, I must say I'm impressed. But then, you want to make things look nice and beautiful around you, don't you?
That is true, just to cheer you up.
Just to cheer you up.
Talking of dramas, we have a drama taking place right here in the UK. There is a shortage of vegetables. Apparently, all of those lovely vegetables that we all know and we love consuming, tomatoes, cabbages,
cucumbers, broccoli. What's the other?
Turnips. Well, apparently, turnips. Now, a turnip, you see them growing in many farms and on farmland, but normally in this country they are often used for feeding animals.
They are, you're right, Mr. Duncan.
So generally speaking, turnips are not given to human beings. They are often used as feed for animals, pigs quite often, and I think cows as well.
And sheep, particularly at this time of the year when there isn't any grass around that's growing. They'll feed them on these kind of root vegetables that human beings find a bit unpalatable.
Yes,
I think you can make turnip soup, but I've never had turnips on a plate. I think they might be a bit bitter. I think they're quite hard, aren't they?
They are. They're just fairly.
They're like sort of parsnips, or sort of giant parsnips, aren't they?
Yes, but they're very rarely used for human cooking or human consumption. However, now because there is a shortage of vegetables here in the UK, a lot of people now are going out to buy some turnips, and they're making delicious turnip stew. I'm sure there must be lots of things you can make with turnips, but we are looking a little bit closer at that later on today.
Right. Yes, that's good, yes.
Also, Coca-Cola. We're talking about that during today's live stream. And the big subject, is reality or real things and fake things. Things that are genuine, things that are real, and things that are not real. They are unreal or fake. So that is something we're looking at a little bit later on. So lots of things to look at.
And of course, the good news that Brexit's over. All the troubles have gone, haven't they? We've secured this wonderful deal, apparently, with the EU over this Northern Ireland, whatever it is. We don't even understand ourselves what it's all about.
Well, I understand it.
I know, but it's different, But I'm just saying, supposedly there's this wonderful deal has been struck between, Ursula and Rishi. Been getting together, haven't they, with egg sandwiches, apparently.
What I find interesting is an anagram of Rishi is Irish.
That is quite... Is that right?
Yes, it is. Don't check. Rishi. Surely you can work that out in your head.
I don't know how to spell his name.
Rishi.
That's quite something. No one is...
R-I-S-H-I. It's an anagram of Irish. If you just move one letter it becomes Irish.
And no one has picked that up on
Anywhere. I might be the first person to notice that, but no one else has mentioned that the word Rishi, or the name of the Prime Minister of this country, is an anagram of Irish, and that is the problem that they've just been dealing with.
The Irish problem over Brexit.
Just before we start shooting and blowing each other up again, we have managed to solve all of that overnight, which begs the question, why didn't we do it 6 years ago? No, it's not. It's a rhetorical question.
Right, okay.
It's rhetorical. Let's not go any further than that. But it is interesting. So world peace is returning to Europe and Northern Ireland. Everything's going to be all right now.
We're all rich now. All our financial woes have been solved overnight. Guess who's here? Who's not normally here on a Wednesday?
I don't know. You have to tell me.
Tomic's here today.
Hello.
He's at work, but not on a break.
Uh-huh.
So he's probably under his desk like this,
yes.
looking at you.
Yes.
Looking at us on a screen
yes.
on his phone.
I would imagine he is. Unless he's using telepathy, of course. He might be psychic. He might be getting in touch with us through the ether of psychic power.
Don't get caught, because you don't want to lose your job, because you've got to spend all that money on us when we meet up in France.
Yes. Talking of which, thank you very much for your messages concerning the big meetup in June. The beginning of June is when it is. I've received some messages already through email. And if you want to get in touch and if you want to meet up at the beginning of June, I know it's a very long way off, but you know what it's like. Sometimes you have to make these plans early for various reasons. So there is my email address. If you want to meet up, we are having a little get-together, a meet-up in Paris. Don't ask us why Paris, but it just seems like a good place to do it.
Because it's Europe. It's not too far for us to travel for our first venture into this. You know, we might be doing a global hop around in the future.
Yeah.
We're going to try somewhere local. But, Lewis is there. There's lots of people that can travel easily to Paris.
Mm-hmm.
And we appreciate that not everyone will be able to go. But... yes, let Mr. Duncan know because as you explained before, we're going to arrange all this away from YouTube, aren't we?
Yes, so we're not giving details here. It's all going to be done away from YouTube through direct messaging, and I think that's the best way of doing it, to be honest. Do we have Lewis here? Oh,
yes, we do.
Hello there. Can I say hello to Luis Mendez? He's here today. We also have Claudia. Hello, Claudia. Did you have a nice holiday? Did you enjoy your time on the beach? I am slightly jealous, to be honest.
Yes.
And also, who else is here? We also have Reham, also watching us today. We have Vitas as well. Vitas is here. Double Sash. Carmen. Hello, Carmen. Hello also IT Viet, who I believe is in Vietnam. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Can you believe it? Today, it's the 1st of March. And here is something I'm going to share with you, and you might not believe it. But we still have the Christmas tree up. And there it is. So this was just a few moments ago before I started today's live stream. Is it strange that we still have the Christmas tree up? And that is it. That is it right now in the living room. So just before I came on, I filmed it. And it is March the 1st, and we still have the Christmas tree up. There are two reasons why. Well, one of them, of course, is because, Christmas trees look lovely. And I always feel sad when we take them down, don't you?
Yes, Mr. Duncan. We just decided it's supposed. You see, I grew up with my parents telling me that if you don't take the Christmas tree down on the 12th day after Christmas, it's bad luck. So this is the first year we've ever tried to see. So far, so good. Nothing bad has befallen us.
Well, just the usual bad luck.
Just the usual.
So we haven't had any unusual bad luck. Just the usual bad luck.
Beatrice has said as well that Beatrice also has her Christmas tree in her apartment. Well, that's incredible.
It is.
We are not the only people. See, I mentioned this to my friends in Birmingham on Saturday when I went to visit them, and they thought that I had gone mad. They couldn't understand why I had still got the Christmas tree up. And I said, well, it's because winter is dull. It's so dull in January, and February is the dullest month, I always think.
Yes.
Even though it's my birthday, that's the only thing that brightens it up, of course. But it's a very dull, dismal month. And to have the nice Christmas tree in the corner, well, I'm not thinking of a Christmas tree. I'm thinking of it as just a tree with lights on.
Well, it is a tree, yes.
So I'm not thinking of Christmas. I'm just thinking that is a lovely, colourful, bright, cheerful thing in the corner of the room.
It is. I think so. I think it's lovely. So is it unusual? It would appear that quite a few other people still have their Christmas trees. So I know a lot of people leave the lights. Maybe they have some lights and they might leave them up because they look lovely. But we have gone one step further and we still have the Christmas tree. And I'm not joking. I wish there was a way of proving it. But this Christmas tree is still up in the living room. And every night we sit and we watch the Christmas tree. It's amazing.
Yes. I mean, we do other things. We don't just sit there looking at the Christmas tree. But yes, it is really nice. I think you can't have enough lights on in your living room. Well, Beatrice says that she used to keep it up until Easter. Maybe that's what we'll do this year. Keep it up until when's Easter this year? It's
soon.
It's not far, is it?
No, I think it's the end of March.
I think once it's the light. Once the clocks change.
Okay.
Which is sometime in March, isn't it?
Yes, it's normally the end of March.
The end of March, and then the nights will get lighter. I think at that point we will. I know the mornings get lighter, don't they? But
light night. We don't live in the North Pole, you know.
I know, but they change the clocks, don't they? We go forward an hour.
Yes, we have longer days, more daylight, and less darkness. That's it, isn't it?
Yes, but I mean, it just means that the time it gets. The sun sets and everything changes because of the clock. Anyway, but I think, I'm getting to the point. I'm beginning to think maybe we should take it down now.
No.
Because, when it starts to get warm, maybe Easter, I think we'll keep it up till Easter, Beatrice.
Yes,
I
think we'll keep it up until Christmas because then we don't have to worry about putting the Christmas tree up because it will already be there. See, Steve thinks it's going to get covered in dust and full of spiders. But that doesn't matter. It's a little place for the spiders to live. And they probably come out at night and enjoy all the fairy lights as well.
We've got a mixed response. See, Palmyra doesn't like it. It makes her feel depressed.
Well, the lights.
Yes. If I had a Christmas tree until this time. Belarusia loves it. Intelligent. Yes, it's an effort. Yes, it's an effort. You're right. It's an effort to take the tree down, isn't it?
Yes, and put it back up.
I mean, it was such an effort to put it up, and it looks so beautiful. I made such a fantastic job of it that you didn't want to take it down. So we will at some point. Tomek thinks it's not strange at all.
No, there's nothing wrong with it.
Well, yes. We wanted to do it last year, but we decided not to.
Of course, on a sad note, I always like to think of when your mother came to stay with us, and she always admired the Christmas tree. So a little bit of me, a little part of me, doesn't want to take it down because it's like that lovely memory as well. I still remember your mother coming round. She would stay just after Christmas with us, and she would always say how lovely the Christmas tree
Of course,
was.
yes. Of course, it is a silly superstition, isn't it, really?
Well, putting the Christmas tree up in the first place
Yes.
might be a silly superstition to
Yes.
some people.
So then worrying that if you take it down is going to give you bad luck is a bit...
God will get angry if you don't take that Christmas tree down. Because, to be honest with you, God, he's got a lot of other things to think about, but he doesn't like it when you leave that Christmas tree up. He'll send lots of bad luck to you.
Yes, I mean, I'm not thinking of Christmas when I look at the Christmas tree now. I'm just thinking of something in the corner of the room that looks bright and cheerful. But I'm beginning to think maybe it's about time. We certainly don't want it up, I don't think, after Easter.
It's about time it went down.
It's about time we'll have to just, I mean, it could be bad luck. Of course, we could trip over it. That would be bad luck, wouldn't it?
Yes, well, that's another good reason for leaving it up. So we don't injure ourselves. It might fall on us whilst we might get electrocuted.
There'll be a lot of dust on it, as you say, spiders growing in it.
That's lovely.
Yeah, so yes, we've got...
it's like a little ecosystem inside our Christmas tree.
Claudia doesn't believe in superstitions. There must be quite a lot around dentists, I would think. What's that noise, Mr. Duncan? Is it one of your lights popping? Right, lovely. So, yeah, we're keeping it up until Easter. We're gonna do what Beatrice did years ago and keep it up until Easter.
Okay, we've got to move on.
Or shall we keep it on until we all meet up in Paris?
Yes, we could take it with us.
Take it with us, yeah.
We could stand under the Eiffel Tower with our Christmas tree. Did anyone see the live stream last Sunday? Oh my goodness, Mr. Steve. A lot of people have commented on your appearance on Sunday. You look so cool and sophisticated. And we will be doing something else on Sunday. Next Sunday, there will be something special that I'm going to show you involving Mr. Steve. So that's happening next week. And for all those who are wondering about the most handsome man in Much Wenlock contest, we came second. Both of us. We didn't realise there was another person. It was the old guy that sells the flowers in the market square. He came first.
You see, because he's local. That's
yes,
right.
I think
favouritism.
So. Yes, I think it was all fixed. I think so.
If the Christmas tree makes you well, why take it away? Says Paolo. Yeah.
Yes.
Why not?
Anything.
Why not?
Whatever you want to do, just do it. As long as you're not harming other people and it's nothing illegal.
No one's come round to visit us. I think that'll be the real test. We'll have to get somebody to come round and visit us. We'll say nothing. We'll just invite them round for, I don't know, coffee or something. And then we'll take them into the living room and just see if they comment on the fact that... But the thing is, it's going to be difficult to persuade anybody to come round and visit us, though. That's the problem.
No one wants to come and see us. In our real life, no one wants to come here, and I don't know why.
And you will find out why when we meet in Paris.
Yes.
I'm joking.
Okay, it's not that funny.
I'm joking. I'm just trying to crack jokes, Mr. Duncan, to keep the mood up.
You are certainly trying. Well, the mood is up. Who said the mood wasn't up?
I didn't. I'm just, the mood's here. I want to make it there.
Oh, okay then.
Yeah, that's it. You raise the bar. Got to keep raising the bar.
I think any higher, though, it might become annoying.
Raise the bar. That's something I used to hear a lot at work. I bet anyone that's working who lives in a sort of competitive work environment, at some point their bosses will have talked about raising the bar. Yes, you've got to hear. You've done very well. Now you've got to raise the bar. It used to drive me mad when they said that.
Also gymnasts.
I used to think, well... Oh, God, give me a break, will you? I've just worked hard. Now you keep saying you want more out of me.
Yes. Well, to raise the bar is to increase the difficulty.
That's it.
Or maybe to give a person much more work to do. We can say that they raise the bar.
Yes, if you've got to a certain standard or a certain level, then they say, well, that's good, well done. Now see, how far can you get above that? We'd had a good year. We had a whole Salesforce meeting once, and the whole theme was raise the bar. We'd had a great year. We'd smashed all our targets and everything, but that wasn't good enough. They all told us, no, you've got to raise the bar in January for the rest of the year. How can you raise the bar? What are you going to do?
Yes.
Get lost.
For those who have been asking about Mr. Steve's plant, because we haven't mentioned it for a while, Steve's plant. Now, this is last week. This is what it looked like last week. It was looking rather healthy and rather refreshed because, well, look at that. It looks amazing. And you can see all of the flowers have come out and it looks very beautiful, a very lovely plant. Sadly, as all things must come to an end, it doesn't look quite as good now, unfortunately. It is dying off.
I think you must have breathed over it, Mr. Duncan.
Oh, okay. What?
I'm joking.
A strange personal attack on me. What?
Well, it's all, it's nothing's for real here, is it? I think it looks like you went over to it and went all over it and it sort of died.
Oh.
Maybe it was me, Mr. Duncan. I'm just joking. We're not being serious.
Maybe I heard your singing. So there it is. Mr. Steve's plant is now slowly dying away. But we've enjoyed it. It's been fun whilst it was still alive. It was very nice.
Yes, Tomek's got to get back to work now. His competitive world, targets, deadlines, fruitless meetings. I know how you feel. I've been there, done that.
But not anymore.
Not at the moment.
You're free of it all.
How can we raise the bar you see, that's what we have to do every live stream, Mr. Duncan. We have to raise the bar. I'll have to say to you, that's what we'll have to do. We'll have to have a pre-live stream meeting. And I'll have to say to Mr. Duncan, how are you going to raise the bar on Sunday?
Well, you're always in the garden, that's why.
Yes.
There's never a meeting before we start. People don't realise I don't see Steve for most of the morning, and then suddenly he appears.
Yeah.
But normally he's doing 6 or 7 other things before it starts.
I can multitask,
Well.
Mr. Duncan, multitask. Normally, only women can multitask.
Oh, okay.
But these days, I think men have to get better at multitasking. But women have a special talent at being able to do lots of different things at once. But I'm a bit of a typical man in the respect that I like to focus on one thing at a time, get that done, then move on to the next thing.
Yes.
I don't like to do lots of things at once. I find it stressful.
Talking of moving on to the next thing,
Yes.
we have other things to talk about today. Now, one of the most popular drinks in the world. Have you heard of the most popular drink in the world?
Water.
No, believe it or not, something far more popular, Coca-Cola.
Okay.
And there it is. There is the original, so that's the original bottle that Coca-Cola used to come in. It used to be served and sold at pharmacies. It was used as a health tonic in the early days. 1885 is when it started. So the manufacture of Coca-Cola originally was intended for medicinal uses, and it contained some very interesting ingredients, including cocoa leaves, which contained also traces of cocaine. So the original Coca-Cola used to actually contain cocaine. And of course you have the cola nut as well. Cola nut. It's a type of nut. So it also contains that. Hence the name Coca-Cola. But yes, in the early days, before they started to get all of the cocaine out of the leaves, because there was always traces of cocaine. And that's the reason why it had a small amount. But originally it was a type of syrup that you would go and you would have it given to you by a pharmacist. And then eventually they realised, wait a minute, We could sell this to everyone in plastic bottles and then destroy the planet about 120 years later. So we'll do that instead. And that's it. That's how Coca-Cola came around. 1885 it started. And people are still drinking it right now. But sadly, no cocaine.
So is there a reason why you wanted to mention that today?
No, I just thought it was an interesting thing just to add into the festivities of this show.
Okay.
There isn't always a reason, you see. So sometimes there is a reason and sometimes it's just something I think is interesting. Like that, the thing I just showed you.
A little factoid. A factoid.
Okay.
There's a word for you, a factoid.
Okay, that's the third time. What does it mean?
I think it just means a little fact, doesn't it? I just think we're just a factoid. It's just we're giving you a little bit of information on something, bite-sized, small bit of information on something, then we move on.
Yes. Talking of things that are available and then sometimes not available, well, I suppose I should mention this. We have a crisis taking place at the moment here in the UK. We have a crisis, and that crisis is, Mr. Steve, it's vegetables. Apparently there is a shortage of vegetables at the moment in the UK.
Yes.
There are not enough vegetables. People are going to the supermarket and all of the shelves are empty, completely empty. There's nothing there. Maybe the occasional sprout, or maybe half a turnip that no one wants. But apparently there is a big shortage. It's all because of climate change.
Well,
apparently. And it has nothing to do with Brexit whatsoever.
Well,
although a lot of people are saying now that it has a lot to do with Brexit. So at the moment we are having difficulty buying our vegetables, which of course is bad news for everyone, especially if you like to keep fit.
Exactly, Mr. Duncan.
Yeah.
Tomek's still hanging on, by the way. When you mentioned cocaine, that kept him interesting. No, I haven't read any more of the book either.
Oh, okay.
So,
can I just do? I'm literally in the middle of a subject.
Oh, right, fine. I thought you'd given me a break, you see.
No.
Right, yes. Well, I think there's it's multifactorial, isn't it? Multifactorial. So there are lots of reasons as to why there's a shortage of vegetables. One of them, as you say, is the fact that in Spain and places where they grow vegetables that we can't grow here because the weather's not warm enough in the greenhouses and things like that. There's been some weather issues.
Yes.
Also, as well, because we haven't been giving subsidies to the farmers in this country, because we've all been getting as households, we've been getting money given to us by the government to heat our homes because of the cost of gas and electricity going up.
Okay.
But they didn't give it to the farmers.
Why do the farmers need subsidies for their gas and electricity?
Well, because if they're having to pay a lot more money for their electricity to heat the greenhouses and they want to get the crops growing, in order for us in this country to grow tomatoes in February, you have to heat the greenhouses up. And so they've done a calculation and said, well, I'm having to pay 3 times as much for my energy as I did last year. The government aren't helping me. I won't make any money if I plant these. So part of the reason is that we haven't been planting any of our own. And Brexit could have an effect as well because of all to do with the farmers aren't getting subsidies from Europe and it's more expensive to import things and shortages in countries that have been growing them. Where there's a shortage, they've been hanging on to them for themselves.
Okay.
So
how long can you hang on to a tomato?
Well, I mean, if your crop's been reduced, then you need more for yourself, so you sell less abroad. But yes, it's a bit. I don't think it's ever happened before. Have you heard of this before, Mr.
Well,
Duncan?
I think during the Second World War it happened.
Yes.
I think there was a shortage of everything.
But then, of course, as some people have pointed out here, You can grow, I mean, my parents used to grow all their own vegetables. My grandparents did.
Yeah.
You had your own pigs and things like that because during the wartime, you had to look after yourself.
Your parents had pigs?
My grandparents did, yes.
Oh, I see.
And chickens. They used to keep a pig and then they'd slaughter it, my father told me.
I see. So they had to keep buying a new pig?
But pigs eat anything, so they're just any old rubbish.
Yeah.
And then it turns it into this lovely meat, and then you can eat it. That's
Yes.
what people had to do during the war.
Unless you're Jewish or a Muslim, of course.
Well, obviously, yes.
So we are at the moment suffering, but there is a bit of consolation because if you go onto eBay, people are selling vegetables at the moment on eBay. So fortunately for everyone, we can go on. So let's have a look and see what offers there are on eBay.
Yes, well, it's been interesting, Mr. Dunn, because I need to buy some vegetables
Yes,
for
here
us.
we go then. So, we have.
Right.
So if you put vegetables in, there is one giant green broccoli, £20.
£20, that's not bad.
£20 for one broccoli. I think that's a good price.
Yes.
I would pay probably twice as much as that.
Okay, right,
And
yes.
underneath, you can see also on eBay, they are selling peas, or should I say pea.
They're selling them individually, Mr.
They're
Duncan.
selling the peas individually on eBay because there's such a shortage, and now they are £2.85 each for each pea. But there is good news because you will get 5% off if you buy more than one pea. So I think that's a good deal. So maybe if you want to spend maybe £50 or £60 on your next meal that includes peas, I think there you could have a really healthy meal.
Exactly.
So I think £70 in total for those two vegetables there.
Lovely, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's a good price to pay. I think so.
Cost of living is really going up, Mr. Duncan.
Yes.
But eBay, right, that's very interesting. Well, I'll have to go on eBay as soon as we come off here, Mr. Duncan, and secure ourselves some vegetables before they go out of stock.
Yes, before they run out. Because those peas at that price, £2.85 each, I think that's a really good price, and I'm pretty sure they will fly out the door.
Good.
I think so.
Have you got shortages of vegetables in your country? Anybody watching maybe from Spain or Egypt or where they tend to grow the vegetables that we get a lot of during these pre-spring months, then have you got a shortage in your country? Is there a shortage in Europe or is it just the UK?
Carmen also says watermelons. 2 pounds of watermelons is now 8 pesos, which I imagine is a lot of money for vegetables. Because we often think of things like fruit and vegetables as being quite cheap and easily affordable. But these days, because there is such a shortage, there is almost rationing. In fact, if you go to the local supermarket and you want to buy more than one cucumber, I suppose the first question would be, why do you want more than one cucumber? You can't. You can't do it. They say, no, you can only have one cucumber.
Yes. Vegetables are rationed. Of course, it is difficult if you live in a country where you can't get vegetables all year round. Well, we can get turnips. You see, the things that we can grow in the winter in the UK are things like turnips, aren't they? Parsnips. I don't think carrots will grow, but broccoli you can grow, Brussels sprouts you can grow. They sort of keep going all during the winter months, don't they? But that, of course, is what you used to eat in this country before we had globalisation and importing vegetables from all around the world. Then you would only eat what was in season in your country.
Yes.
So we wouldn't normally be eating tomatoes and cucumbers at this time of the year. You would have to wait until sort of April time for them to be ready.
Yeah, we often see things like tomatoes as a spring and summer food because a lot of people will eat tomatoes during the summer months. I think so. Anyway, so it's an interesting thing. Some people are now saying that there is a supply. So some places are still having lots and lots of vegetables delivered to their supermarkets, and other people are having difficulty getting hold of them.
Well, I got some tomatoes the other night for us, Mr. Duncan. I got some broccoli.
Yes.
So that it seems to be, I think it's probably a short-term problem.
Yeah. You might want to go onto eBay and see if you can sell that broccoli. See what the highest bid you can get for your broccoli.
Exactly.
Oh dear. Today we are looking at things that are real and things that are fake. For example, this. This is the Mona Lisa, the most famous painting in the world. And as you can see, it looks just like it. However, believe it or not, this is not real. This is actually fake. This is not the real Mona Lisa. This is actually one that I did myself. And that's what we're talking about today. Things that are real and things that are fake.
Right.
And quite often, people say now, in this day and age, we live in a world where lots of things are fake, or maybe it is hard to tell a difference between what is real and what is unreal. I know a lot of people like that, and so I couldn't resist showing the lovely cows. We are with you every Wednesday and Sunday.
Yes, Zara, yes, we have got potatoes. Certain vegetables we grow ourselves and can store throughout the winter. So potatoes, you grow them in the summer, but they store very well. So we haven't got a shortage of potatoes. Intelligent, of course, points out that...
Lilia. That's Lilia.
Lilia.
Hello,
yeah.
Lilia.
Intelligent on here. Says that there's no shortage of vegetables in Ukraine, but they are expensive. And of course, points out to us, reminds us, and uses a very good word here, that Ukraine is an agrarian country.
Mm-hmm.
Agriculture, grow lots of vegetables, fruits, grain. I think certainly Ukraine is one of the largest, if not the largest, probably the second after the US in world production of wheat.
Yes.
Which is why it's such a vitally important country. So.
Well, that's one of the first things that happened when the Ukraine war began. Suddenly there was a drop in the amount of grain being exported around the world. And so they call it the breadbasket of the world.
Yes.
I believe.
They do, yes, exactly. Yes. So, yeah, nice fertile soil. And I can't believe you don't know how to grow vegetables, because I would have thought that coming from Ukraine, everyone would have been taught at school, but maybe it's all left to the farmers to do the growing.
Yes. Well, I always remember when we arrived, one of our first trips to Turkey, we were driving around the mountain areas and lots of mountainous areas, but also we were quite surprised and amazed to see how much agricultural land there was, and lots of places, huge areas just covered with these large plastic domes as far as the eye could see. And I was amazed. So I asked what it was, and it's all farmland, and they're growing a lot of the vegetables for the country. And I thought it was amazing. So yes, I was quite blown away.
Colombia is growing lots of fruits and vegetables like mangoes and avocados. You see, that's it. Every country's got a different climate and can grow different things. And living in the world that we do now, we can import all these wonderful vegetables and enjoy them. I wonder if we export many vegetables as a country.
No.
Many turnips coming to your country, are they? Anybody watching? Have we got any UK turnips?
I would imagine when you think about it, a lot of the things that we eat are not actually grown in this country, or traditionally they weren't. So it's quite interesting, especially tropical fruit, when you think about it.
I remember my mother saying if they got bananas, it was like something just so special and exotic when she was growing up to get a banana. But my father was in the Merchant Navy, and he used to sail all around the world just before I was born, collecting and actually picking up all this exotic fruit like grapefruits and oranges and bringing them all over from hot, warm countries and bringing them back to the UK. So that used to be his job. Many years ago. So yes, the Merchant Navy.
Anyway, Steve.
Yeah, right. Okay. Yeah.
Moving on.
As
much as I like to hear about your father's adventures on the high seas.
We did notice, by the way, with Claudia, even though she was on holiday, she was still coming on the live stream.
Of course.
Saying hello every day.
Yes, on the beach, listening to the waves crashing on the sand, and also watching us at the same time. Anyway, Steve, moving on. Real or fake? Things that are either real or fake. And we're going to quickly look at some words and phrases connected to this, because I think it's interesting that we live in an age where quite often it is hard to tell whether something is real or fake. I suppose another way of describing it is to say genuine and fake. So something that is genuine is real, it is the real thing, and something fake. Now, I always think the word fake is an interesting word because it can be used in many ways, as we will find later on. Then we have the word genuine. The words genuine and fake relate to what is real and what is not. Something that can be verified or proved correct is genuine. So verify, something that is verified. You often hear this on the news, don't you?
Yes.
When they're showing maybe a video clip or something like that, and they will say, we are waiting for this video to be verified. So someone else will have to prove that the video that they are showing was filmed at that moment in that place. So when you verify something, it means you are checking to make sure it is real. You verify something. It happens these days on social media as well. You might notice on my Facebook, next to my name, it has a little blue tick. And that's so you know that when you follow me on Facebook, you are following the real Mr. Duncan.
Have you got one on YouTube as well, haven't you?
I have. I have a verification now. They've given it back, thank goodness. Although I don't have one on Twitter. Apparently nowadays you have to buy it. You have to spend £7 a month to have your blue tick on Twitter.
What a cheat. Oh, on Twitter, right.
Yes.
Okay.
And also Facebook. Facebook are thinking of doing the same thing as well. How annoying. A unique thing that is confirmed as original can also be called genuine. So is there an example of that, Steve?
The unique thing that is going to be called genuine. Yes, like the Mona Lisa.
Yes.
For example. So is it genuine or is it the real thing? Well, obviously this one here is the real thing. It's the genuine Mona Lisa. No, of course it isn't.
Yes.
It's this isn't genuine, is it?
No. Although it is my genuine Mona Lisa. So you might say that it is genuine because it's the original version that I drew. So you see how it works.
Is that a genuine Renoir painting?
Yes.
Is it, and can it be verified? Can somebody confirm, or is there a certificate or some kind of proof that it's the real thing? Is it the real article, the genuine thing?
Yes. And I find it interesting especially with art, because over the years, many people have been very good at recreating the artistic style of famous paintings and famous painters.
And of course, a lot of things that get faked these days is fashion. People like to have handbags. Ladies like to have handbags, Louis Vuitton handbags, for example. But is it genuine? Is it a genuine Louis Vuitton article, or is it a fake? Well, how can you tell? I don't know.
But I suppose China is a place that most people think of when they think of fake products. And over the years, I suppose it has been labelled. The only thing that is genuine is the label, the label of China being maybe the capital of fake things, even though over the past 10, 15 years, I would say that China is now also doing very well at making their own products, their original products as well. So a unique thing that is confirmed as original can be described as genuine. It is real. The thing in question is the genuine article. So that's a phrase we might use when we are describing something that is real. It is the real thing. It is the genuine article.
And people you can describe people as well, can't you, as being genuine? Are you genuine when you say that? In other words,
Yes.
are you meaning what you say?
So a person might be described as genuine.
Oh, you've got
If the
yeah.
A person might be described as genuine if their character is true and sincere, a nice person. So when you are talking to someone, they appear to be real. They are genuine.
Like Lewis, for example.
Yes.
On here, a genuine person.
Yes.
Honest, sincere. Of course, that might be shattered when we meet him.
And of course, everyone. Can I just say everyone?
Joking.
Everyone on the live chat is genuine.
Of course, yes.
Not just
well,
Lewis.
maybe not quite everybody.
Okay, then, if you say so.
I'm joking. I'm joking.
Okay, Steve. To be viewed as trustworthy and of true character is genuine, a genuine person. So I think this is a very good way of expressing that quality of a person, to be viewed as trustworthy and of true character. They could be described as genuine. An original piece of art made by the actual creator, the person who actually made the original. And of course, quite often when a painter paints something, that particular thing is the original. And then you will find that many people they will copy other versions of that particular painting.
If somebody shows you something and it's sort of like an expensive piece of art, a painting, a piece of fashion wear, you can say, is that the genuine article? Is a phrase you can use as a question. That looks like a Louis Vuitton bag. Is that the genuine article? Of course it won't be unless you've got very rich friends because, but there you go, yes.
A genuine Picasso. I would have loved to have seen his passport photo. I wonder if his passport photo was a picture of him from the front and also the side at the same time. That would be amazing. A genuine Picasso.
Beatrice uses an interesting phrase here as well. Uses the word genuine. My admiration, a love for you is genuine.
Yes.
And no doubt that is exactly what Claudia was trying to say earlier on as well.
An emotion that is conveyed with genuine feeling. Genuine is authentic, real, true, trusted, actual, bona fide. Oh, I like that one. That's a good one. Or, of course, the real deal. You can describe something as real as being the real deal. It is something that is genuine. It is original. It is authentic.
Often when we come to documents, we use the word authentic when it comes to documents, don't we? Often that word is associated with documents. Is that will? Is that authentic? You could say genuine, but quite often when it comes to documents, you tend to use the word authentic quite often, I think, don't you?
I think so, yes. Yes.
Sometimes the words are used slightly. Genuine and authentic are used slightly differently depending on the thing that you're describing. But, yeah, there we go. The real deal. Are you the real deal, Mr. Duncan?
Well, I'm definitely the real deal.
Yes, that's it.
There are many people impersonating me. They're using my name on YouTube channels. So there are many YouTube channels that have Mr. Duncan as the title. But they are not me. And, well, that's been going on now for 17 years.
The real deal. Are you as you are describing yourself or as you appear to be? Quite often people might say, you might see somebody, I don't know, a boss talking to you in a meeting, and somebody hasn't met him before. They might say, is he the real deal? In other words, is he really mean what he's saying or what she is saying? Are they really mean that? They're saying all those things, but are they the real deal? Or is it all just a bit of bluff?
Yes. I think also with people who say that they are able to do things as well. So a genuine person might be a person who can prove that their talent or their ability is real. And of course, there are many people around these days who say they can do things, but they can't.
Yes. So you say that you can help people learn English, and you are the real deal.
Yes, I think I've proved it. 17 years I've been doing it here on YouTube. So we have the opposite now, Steve. The opposite of genuine is fake. And people do worry these days, especially with, well, I suppose artificial intelligence. We have AI, we have computers now that can write and communicate on their own. You can ask a computer to write an essay about a certain subject and it will do it. And of course, we have something called deep fake, which is where you can actually have a person appearing in a video and it looks as if it's them. And they can even artificially generate that person's voice as well. So there is a famous video at the moment going around of Joe Biden calling everyone up for conscription to go to Ukraine. Have you seen that?
I haven't.
Yes, and it's incredibly realistic. It's incredible. So you've got Joe Biden there on the screen. It looks like him. He's talking. It's his voice. And he's talking about the stages of conscription for getting all young people to join the army and to be enrolled in the military. But it's all fake. But it's incredible. In fact, the only thing that gives it away is the fact that in the video, Joe Biden does not make any mistakes.
Oh.
He doesn't stumble over any of the words. So that's the only thing that gives it away as being fake. But it's amazing what they can do now with modern technology, make things that are not real appear very real indeed. So the opposite of genuine is fake.
Of course, fake news became, are you going to talk about that? Is that fake news
okay.
is something, of course, that Donald Trump made quite famous. That phrase, fake news, because if somebody ever said anything that put him in a bad light, made him look bad, he would say it was fake news. And of course, unless you can prove it, verify it, how many of us can verify news stories on our own? We can't. So you never know whether it's the truth or not. Maybe if the BBC says it, you might trust them. But somebody can just say it's fake. And how do you know?
Yeah.
How can you verify something somebody's saying yourself? How do you know, as you say, that's Mr. Biden really trying to get people to go to war? and sign up. So it's very difficult in today's world, often, particularly on television, on social media, to actually be able to find out if it's fake or not.
Yes. And I think this is why you have more and more news agencies now appearing who are saying that they are the real news, and all of the big news companies are the fake ones. But I think, as I always say, and I've said it before and I'll say it again, don't get your news from one place. Read lots of different newspapers. Go on the internet. So don't just go to one website. Go to lots of websites. So that's how you decide on what is real and what isn't, because you look around, you listen. Don't just listen to one person. And don't just listen to one person's opinion.
Beatrice is a genuine painter, according to Lewis.
Yes, I believe. I'm sure we've mentioned this in the past.
Well, maybe Beatrice is going off to do some painting now because she's off. She's going now. I must go now. So yes, you have a lovely rest of your day as well. Claudia mentions the Waxworks Museum.
Oh.
Yes. They aren't real. They're made of wax. How would you describe them? They're reproductions, would you say?
Well, they're mannequins. They are something that's in the form of a person, but I'm pretty sure you would never be fooled by a waxwork.
You wouldn't call them fakes because everyone knows they're just waxworks. So they are the genuine article in terms of that is a waxworks representation by the Waxworks Museum, Madame Tussauds. If somebody else made a separate wax copy of that wax model, that would be a fake. But that's a bit confusing.
It's very confusing. Something unoriginal. Something unoriginal. So we are saying that it is not real. Something unoriginal can be described as fake or fraudulent. Oh. Something fraudulent, a thing that is being done in a dishonest way, or something that is being done to mislead another person. Something is fraudulent. Maybe you sign your name on the bottom of a cheque when you are paying for something, and maybe another person tries to use your signature somewhere else, and that signature will be fraudulent because you are trying to obtain money or do something illegally by copying that other person's signature.
Yes, quite often people, like with the Mona Lisa, for example, there'll be a painting and there will be copies made of it, prints made of it. Lots of people, thousands, millions of prints have been made of the Mona Lisa, but they're not the original. That's not the original. The original is the one hanging in the Louvre. I presume it's still in the Louvre.
Yes.
We can go and see it, and when we go and haven't been to the Louvre for years.
No, I've never been there.
Haven't you?
No.
Well, we'll have to go and look at the Mona Lisa.
Yeah.
Maybe we could do a protest and throw some stuff over it, do a climate protest like they do in the UK. I don't think we get anywhere near it, quite frankly, Mr. Duncan. But yes, the original.
Well, not now. We've just told everyone we're going to do it.
The original. That means there's only one object of that exists in the world.
Yes.
An original article, like the Mona Lisa. Just one thing. That's all there is. Like the Eiffel Tower. That's the original.
The Eiffel Tower.
But there are other Eiffel Towers, as you pointed out. Copies, facsimiles. There's a good word.
That's a good word.
A facsimile. A reproduction of it somewhere else. The original is in Paris.
Yes. But there is one in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And also one in China.
But that's not the original. That's a. You wouldn't describe it as a fake. You would just describe it as a reproduction.
Yes.
As quite often you have houses. Quite often reproduction furniture. It's furniture that's made to look like something from a long time ago. You could have reproduction furniture from the French, I don't know, some kind of style of furniture from France, from the 17th century, and somebody makes it now. It's the same style, but it's a reproduction of something. It's reproduced from some other original article.
I'm very partial to a Baroque puff.
Really?
You can put your feet on them.
Oh,
There's a little
right.
thing you put in front of you when you're watching TV. So yes, I... What? Something unoriginal can be described as fake or fraudulent. To copy something and try to pass it off as one's own work is to fake something. This has happened over the years, even though I think it's much harder now. It's much more difficult to fake art because there are many types of technology that can easily see if it's real or not. Fake can be used as a noun, verb, and also an adjective as well. So a fake thing is fake. And you can also fake something as an action. So you are faking something. Maybe a person who doesn't want to live anymore, or maybe they are sick of life and they decide to change their identity. But first of all, they have to fake their death. So they might go to the beach and leave all their clothes at the edge of the beach, and then everyone will think, oh no, Mr. Duncan, he's killed himself, oh no. And then I can go and live my life in peace and quiet as another person.
Where would you go?
France. I would go to the French hills. I would go to the Dordogne.
Well, sure, wouldn't you be better off in South America? You could hide away there. No one's going to come to South America to look for you.
It's too hot.
Whereas they would go to France to look for you. Hide away with the indigenous populations of the Amazon rainforests.
I think they might notice me though. I mean, I'm 6 foot tall.
Oh, here's a good one from Vaccine Yaduki. Counterfeit.
Oh, yes.
Counterfeit.
Counterfeit.
Like in money. Counterfeit money. It just means it's not real money, not being produced by the government in its printing machines. Counterfeit. Yes, it's often used to describe, well, it can be used to describe paintings, a counterfeit painting. But money, it's often used to describe money that is not the real money that was produced by the government.
Yes.
Counterfeit coins, counterfeit paper. Well, there's not much paper money anymore. It's disappearing, isn't it? Rapidly, it's all being replaced with cards and chip and pin. But yes, that used to be a big business doesn't it? I mean, if you were a criminal and you wanted to produce counterfeit money, that was big business for counterfeiters. And if you are somebody that makes fake things, you're a counterfeiter. So thank you very much for that word, Yaxine.
Yes, counterfeit. It's a great word. French.
It's a counterfeit.
Yes.
Or a fake.
It is not real. Something fake as a noun. To fake something as a verb is pretend, of course. You pretend. You fake something. You fake your death. Maybe you you fake your laughter. Maybe you hear a joke, but you don't like it, but you still laugh. You fake your laughter. A fake item as an adjective, so something that is not the real thing and is not genuine. An insincere person, so the opposite of what we said earlier. An insincere person might be described as fake or as behaving in a fake way. And I think this happens a lot nowadays. A lot of people are fake in their attitude and their appearance. Social media. You only have to go on to some of the websites like Instagram and you see a lot of fake people with their fake lives, pretending to have the life that they don't really have. They are fake. A genuine thing is real. A fake thing is unreal or unoriginal. And that's another interesting word, something unoriginal. Maybe something that's been done before and now you are doing it again, but you are pretending that you created it. You're saying, oh, this type of humour, I created it. But then someone says, oh no, your idea is unoriginal. It's been done before.
You're basically copying somebody else's style. So yes, you could be described as unoriginal if your act is similar to somebody else's, but you've decided that you'll try it yourself. Yeah. Whereas if you come up with and comedy is a good way of describing that.
So something that is not original. Stealing a person's idea or copying something and passing it off as your own work produces a fake item. However, we can often use different terms when describing stolen ideas. We often call this plagiarism. And this is a big subject, and it's something that often comes around with things like music. A lot of people will say, oh, that piece of music sounds very much like another piece of music. And maybe you will assume that person has copied or stolen some of that music and made it their own. I remember many years ago, a lot of people accused Andrew Lloyd Webber of stealing famous composers' music and making it into his own. So it can happen. But sometimes you will take action against someone. Very recently there was a court case that was thrown out of court. And someone came along and says, oh, that song has 2 notes that sound like my song. No, it didn't happen. It didn't happen. So plagiarism, especially these days where you can write an essay or an article and maybe you just copy it from another person.
It's often used for literature, isn't it? Plagiarism. Yeah, copying somebody else's work and passing it off as your own.
Normally something that's written or created artistically, such as music. The act of plagiarism is when a person uses another person's intellectual property. So these days we often say IP. So if you hear a person talk about IP, what they're actually talking about is intellectual property. That thing that came from that person's brain. So I love this word. It literally means something that a person produced with their own brain. They made that thing reality. It is their intellectual property.
Well, certain countries will plagiarise, particularly technology from other countries, and pass it off as their own and create their own, like cars as well. Things like that, they're often copied. And the ideas behind how to produce that technology is often plagiarised by other countries to produce it cheaper and then sell it back to everybody else.
Yes, designs of things. So maybe a person designs something or invents something and then another person steals their idea, like Thomas Edison. Apparently that's what he used to do quite often. He would often steal other people's ideas and make them his own. A thing thought of and then used artistically or in practice is intellectual property. So I think that's a good way of describing that. Something that is created artistically. It comes from the brain. It comes from a person's head. They created it using their mind. For example, the character of Harry Potter is the intellectual property of J.K. Rowling, even though these days she often doesn't admit to it. Something fake is unreal. Counterfeit. So there it is. There is the word we had earlier, counterfeit. Forged. Oh, forge. If you forge something, you create a copy of another thing. Bogus. Oh, something not real, something not true. You are pretending to do it. You are pretending to make it. You are producing something that isn't real. It is bogus. A replica, as you said earlier, a replica of a piece of furniture, something that looks the same as the original, but it's a replica.
But that's not necessarily... See, we've used counterfeit, forged, bogus, knocked off, pirated. They're all suggestions of criminality taking place. Whereas a replica could be as long as you've advertised it as a replica, then that doesn't necessarily mean it's a criminal act. So you can have replica furniture, can't you?
That's it.
And as long as you that's how you sell it,
Yes.
then this is a replica something from 200 years ago.
What we normally use is it is an authorised copy. So you've allowed that thing to be copied.
Yes.
It is a replica of
Yes.
it. And quite often you need to get permission. So if you make something that looks like another thing that a person has created, you can say that it is a replica.
Bye, Claudia.
Something is false.
Chicken.
And, sorry?
Yes, no, Belarusia is a genuinely cooking chicken and charred pie, whatever that is. But that sounds nice. I'm sure it's delicious.
Also knocked off.
Yes.
As you said, knocked off. If something is knocked off, it means it has been copied illegally. It is not something that's real or genuine.
That looks like a knockoff,
Yes.
you can say.
And finally, we have pirated. If something has been pirated, it's been copied. I remember growing up in the 80s, we had video cassettes, video movies. You could watch a movie at home on your little video recorder or player. And a lot of people would copy the films and sell them illegally, sometimes without any real copies existing. I remember in 1982 when everyone was watching E.T. on their video recorders, and you could buy a copy of it. And we did. We actually saw E.T. At home when it was in the cinema in the 1980s. But it was terrible quality. You couldn't hear the sound, and it was just a person holding a camera in the theatre. And sometimes you would see a person walk by or somebody would start coughing.
Yeah, so pirated is often used when you're describing music or films that has been ripped off or knocked off or copied.
That's it.
Illegally.
Something pirated has been copied illegally, such as a movie or a piece of music, just to make it clear. And we often talk about copyright as well. So copyright is an interesting word because it relates to a person's ability to copy someone else's property or someone else's creation. So I think that's quite an interesting subject, especially nowadays, because everyone is talking about it. What is real? What is fake? Maybe we are not real. Maybe we are just something that a computer...
Facsimiles.
Maybe someone has created this on a computer. Maybe we're not even real at all. Maybe there is no real Mr. Steve or Mr. Duncan. Maybe we are just created here on a computer.
Yeah, we don't exist. You'll find out when we go to Paris.
We're just a lot of ones and zeros. I think that is almost it.
Right, Mr. Duncan, I'm going to put the kettle on. I need to sit down. My legs are aching.
I can tell you're very
yes. Oh,
you're fidgeting today.
Yes, I'm all achy, Mr. Duncan. So I'm going to say goodbye.
Oh.
And to everybody out there who's watched today, hope you've learned something. Hope you've enjoyed it. And I look forward to seeing you again on Sunday.
That's good. Keep that smile on your face and enjoy.
Is that a fake smile?
No, that's good. That's
a fake smile. That's what, some people often say that, don't they? If you smile at somebody, a fake smile is when you don't use your eyes. You sort of just go,
There it is. There's Mr. Steve's fake smile.
Here's a fake smile. So your eyes are not saying what your mouth is doing. You're pretending to smile, a fake smile. Right, on that note, as we say, I shall say goodbye and see you on Sunday.
See you later, Mr. Steve. Mr. Steve is back on Sunday. We have a big one on Sunday. Of course, it's 2 hours on Sunday, not just 1 hour or 1.5 hours, but 2 hours on Sunday. So we will be back with you. Looking forward to seeing you, and we will be with Mr. Steve as well. We will see you on Sunday. Thank you very much for watching today. It's been lovely It's been very nice having you here. And we will see you on Sunday. Enjoy the rest of your Wednesday. Enjoy the rest of your week. And I will see you soon. This is Mr. Duncan in England saying thanks for watching. And I hope you stay happy. Keep that smile on your face as you walk amongst the human race. And of course, you know what's coming next. Yes, you do. Ta-ta for now.